I just want to say, there are things out in the world that I would love to buy. Sometimes you get what you pay for. Other times you look at the price tag and go, maybe I'm a bit too poor for this place. That's why I'm going to DIY some viral, overrated squishies so that my broke self doesn't have to buy some with my own hard-earned money. So the first viral squishy that I want to try today is the butter squishy. I've seen that there's two different kinds. There's the foam squishy and then there's the one where it's stuffed with some
mysterious clay substance.
But anywho, don't want to buy any of them because instead of paying $1 at a discount store, I would rather pay $0 to make it myself. So here I have my white paper and I'm going to first outline so that we have a rectangular prism. Here I have my pencil and ruler and I'm just going to sketch everything out. Or maybe I should not use this. I think we should use the straight edges of the paper to our advantage. Let's fold this into fourths. And I'm thinking we could do this. We could fold these edges into the center. How do we make these squares? Okay, well, I have to measure one side of this first. 53. If it's 53 centimeters here, then it has to be 53 centimeters on this side as well. Yeah, it's about there. It doesn't have to be perfect, or at least that's what I'm telling myself to make myself feel better. Good, and then we need to do the same thing for the other side. We only need 2 of these squares on the sides, so we're just gonna cut these parts out and then these parts out. Let me get my scissors. These things had green fabric paint on the blades, so I had to try to clean that off. Let me tell you, that was incredibly dangerous. Let's cut out what we need to cut out. Okay, so here's what we have so far. The only issue that I'm seeing right now is this. Thankfully, we can use the power of tape and extra paper to hopefully cover up that corner. So we're gonna tape that on. There's no weird slice off the paper anymore. Now that we have our template, we can start working on the design. Thankfully, the design is very simple. It's just a label on the front and then the rest is just a light yellow. I'm gonna go in with this blue Ohuhu marker, cerulean. Right? Is it cerulean? I used to pronounce it cerulean, but I think that's wrong. I'm gonna use the fine side today. First, we're going to write the word butter. I'm gonna double check to make sure these folds are nice and creased. B-U-T-T-E-R. I think I margined this a little bit slightly too far to the right. Oops. But other than that, I think it looks all right. On the top, I think it says salted, right? Personally, I prefer salted butter over regular butter. My go-to eating style for butter is butter on crunchy bread. You can never go wrong with that. 4 ounces and then net weight 113 grams. Do all the butter squishies say 113 grams? But in any case, that's it. That's all we have to do for the blue. Now all we have to do is to go in with our yellow colored pencil because I don't have a light yellow colored marker, unfortunately. It's never fun to shade in a large area. After a while, my hands start to cramp. Oh my god, my hand's already cramping. This is not the best coloring job, but we still have a lot more left to do. Here is our final colored template. Now it's time to tape this thing together. Never would I have thought to be happy to do that. I have my tape roll here. Let's try to laminate this first. I know I've said before that I just don't really like making paper squishies because honestly, it's just tedious. I will say it is very satisfying once you're near the end. I'm going to crease along the lines now. Hopefully this is self-explanatory. Okay, I think I'm going to tape this side first and then I'm going to stuff this paper squishy on this side. I'm also going to tape along this side as well. Now for this side. Before I tape the rest, I'm going to stuff this paper squishy with some plastic bags. I'm going to use my scissors to squish it in. We're going to finally tape the last 2 sides. And here is our butter squishy. Okay, it doesn't rise back up completely, but this feeling, it's just, I can't describe it, but it's so good. I saved $1 by making it myself, made of supplies that were probably more than $1. But now we gotta move on and try some other viral squishies. So the next squishy that we're going to make today, why are Nidos these days $15? The way I've seen children finally find a Nido only to go home and destroy their Nido by putting it in the microwave. If you have a Nido, do not put it in the microwave. Put it in the oven first. I'm going to save $5 and just make it myself. So first things first, we're actually going to make some slime. I have my bowl here and my golden spoon. I wanted to save this spoon for something special. This is that very special thing. That was kind of aggressive. So first we're going to take some glue and then just dump it in. Okay, I think that's good enough. Should we color this or should we just make the slime first? You know what? Let's make the slime first. I have some of my secret bag of fairy dust. You know what I mean. I think I'm just gonna dump the whole thing in like so. But I'm just gonna go mix this in. You know, I used to think that if I mix the baking soda into the glue as slowly as possible, the clear slime would clear up quicker, but it doesn't matter really. That looks great. Contact lens solution. Pop the lid open a little bit at a time, and then hopefully things will come together. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Things are coming together now. So I'm just gonna go in with my hands. We're just gonna keep kneading this. Okay, and here is our slime. But we're just gonna let this dry. Alright, 15 minutes of hard work for nothing. We're just gonna let this sit in a container so that the air bubbles can rise up. And what is this cup of mysterious slime that I totally didn't make beforehand? Yeah, I don't want to wait another 4 days to finally see these air bubbles rise up. After all of that waiting, the bubbles clearly didn't rise up. I basically used acrylic paint to dye the slime, but since acrylic paint isn't exactly clear, that's why the slime also isn't clear. This was clearly for demonstration purposes. Now you guys might be wondering, Meepyblues, why did you make slime? Did you just make slime so that you could just dilly-dally for 15 minutes and waste our time? Well, precisely. The reason why I made slime is because we're going to make the clear shell with some nanotape. This thing is kind of dirty and sitting in my garage, but I'm thinking to get that rubbery texture on the outside, I should use some nanotape. Let me just move this to the side. And then I'm just gonna cut this in half and bend the two sides together, so hopefully that'll stick together nicely. I'm going to cut this into a square. Okay, so here is one square. I might want to tape this part off with some clear tape first. I don't want this to just kind of pop off. I need to make 5 more of these. I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago, nanotape crafts were much more popular. The trend just died down or something. I've always been fascinated by the things that people can make with nanotape. I've seen people make fruits, Pokemon. That being said, I've never really experienced crafting with nanotape as the hype was still going on. You know, I'm thinking back to the poppet trend. That thing was super popular. I don't know if the Nido trend will fizzle out like the poppet trend. The other day I went to one of those thrift stores. I saw like a pack of 50 poppets for $2. Safe to say that the trend has died out since then. And here we have our 6 squares. Oh, it's kind of bothering me how these squares are not perfectly square. You know what I mean? I'm willing to work with what I have because I don't want to do this all over again. So now what we have to do is that we have to connect the squares together so that we have a 3D cube. Since the backs are pretty sticky, I think I could just press them together. Whoa, this thing is turning out pretty nicely. Before I put on the final piece, let's insert our slime. Okay, this might not be enough. Uh-oh. Maybe I need to mix this with my other slime. Oh, so much for waiting for 4 days. Now that I'm gonna mix it with this. Hopefully this is enough though. You know, what I've heard with Nidos is that they start fogging up the more you play with it. It's the same thing with clear slime, so you know, oh my god, there's still not enough. I'm just gonna try and add more glue. Okay, let's bring back our bowl. Plop our slime in our bowl, and then let's just add a crap ton more glue. I'm praying that it'll add some more volume. I'm pretty sure I'm about to break this spoon, so I'm just gonna set this aside. Pray that this is enough now. Alright, that actually looks like it's enough. I think it might be actually a little bit too much. Let's just take our final square. Here is our Nido. We're not exactly done yet. I'm just gonna double secure it with some more clear tape. Okay, so here is everything all taped up. I'm going to use these brush pens to outline the letters so that we have something like this. I don't want to touch this because one fingerprint and the entire thing is all smudged. I'm going to make some packaging for this. So I made this template out of black paper, and it's basically a square and then these 4 tabs that kind of fold up to form a mini box. Went ahead with white first on the design because colors like these don't exactly mesh well on black paper. And here is the template all taped together. Is it sad that I like the packaging more than the actual Nido? But if I plop it in here, that looks pretty decent, right? I'm actually pretty satisfied with this. And the squish is very, very nice. I'm glad I made this today because if I really wanted this, I would be falling victim to the rip-off prices that I've seen in retail stores and online. And speaking of rip-offs, what is this? Why is this worth more than my dog's health insurance? These prices really had me messed up. That's why I'm gonna make one myself today. Is there some secret valuable rock inside of these squishies that I don't know about? I've seen a lot of people use balloons to make these viral dumpling squishies, but I don't know about you, but at least when I was younger, I did not have balloons just lying around. And I just can't imagine the average person being like, hey, let me just grab my balloon from the naughty corner. So instead of balloons, I'm going to take a shot at making a tissue squishy. Disclaimer, I'm not the first to make a tissue squishy, so let's just get started. First things first, since dumplings have a little slightly pointy top, I'm going to take a small rubber band, pinch a tiny part of the middle, or maybe I should double layer this just in case. So there we go, and then wrap this rubber band around it several times. I don't know why that's making me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Now I'm gonna take my stuffing, I'm just gonna plop it down on the center, wrap it together. I'm going to get my tape and my scissors ready. We're not gonna wrap it around this way, we're gonna wrap it around on this side. 5 minutes later, we have this. Does it look edible? Absolutely not. This is pretty much why we tied the middle with a rubber band so that we have a suggestion of creases. But I'm going to try and color this somehow. So I'm going to try my hand at chalk pastel. Smudge it on. Is this working? Okay, I don't think it's gonna apply if I just colored it on, so I'm just gonna take my X-Acto knife and try to file chalk pastel dust. Yeah, this is not gonna stick onto this for nothing. So that plan didn't work. But you know what? I think dumplings are originally white. Alright, so next I'm gonna go in with the face with some Sharpie brush tip pen markers. First, I'm gonna do the eyes. I really cannot make a mistake this time because one terrible mistake and I have to redo everything all over again, which I don't want to do. Okay, that's good enough. And then let's go in with the mouth. Yeah, that looks convincing. Just say yes. We can go in with the little details now. And here's the face all completed. I had to add a couple coats of white because it wouldn't stand out behind the black. But next we need to make our packaging. So first I took a compass and used the dumpling as a template to draw 2 circles, one for the lid and one for the container. Now I just needed to cut that out, and oh, I also made some paper strips for the sides of the lid and container. I brought in some color pencils to draw the bamboo weaving design on the top. I basically filled in the circles and strips in yellow, which, you know, the coloring is not perfect, but it kind of gives the packaging some character, you know what I mean? Finally, we just need to bonk everything together to form our paper bamboo steamer. If only it was actually that easy. So this is what we have so far. One of the biggest downfalls for me was making the lid a little bit too big, but we're not exactly done yet. There's some extra packaging that we need to make. And here we have it, folks. Truth be told, I really didn't have to do all of this. All of maybe 4% of you actually really care about everything being accurate to the T. Regardless, I'm super happy with how this turned out. It's been a couple days later and you could probably notice that the bubbles are rising to the top. I think that's a huge bonus to this. And here we have all of our viral squishies. To me, these two look better, but I like the concept of this more. The nano tape really added to the texture. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Meepyblues out.